Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe right now to this channel. There are people who didn't like the truth or didn't like the reality of what's truly happening. President Trump has essentially paved the way for a new administration. You can use whatever words you'd like. Does he feel things were fair and just? No. Do you or I agree with President Trump? Yes. Does that matter at this point? It is completely irrelevant. You need to, if you're watching this channel, and perhaps say, oh, you know what, H.A. Goodman, he's annoying. I don't want to listen to what he has to say. Even though he supports Trump and I support Trump, well, he's not giving me what I want to hear. That's the wrong mentality. Hit subscribe to this channel because I'm going to give you a rational, sober, thoughtful analysis of what's taking place. And I'm going to give you a roadmap towards regaining political power and influence. I saw what happened with Bernie Sanders. So I supported President Trump after being the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. My articles went viral in The Hill, the Huffington Post, and the Salon in 2016. The DNC primary, we know what took place. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. I understand what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders. I understand what happened to his movement, which is now a gigantic bowel movement. And I understand, I can see what's kind of taking place right now. People are distraught. They're losing hope. They're searching for any voice that gives them, or any, theory or viewpoint that says all will be fine. Everything's going to be okay. The future is bright, but you have to make it bright. You have to work to be successful and win back political power in our country. The Democrats did so. They spent 4 years with nonstop propaganda. Trump never worked with Russia. He never deserved to be impeached on an ellipsis within a phone conversation. What happened the other day was not Trump's fault, but they literally have convinced themselves that he told people to do those things. But they want to impeach him now again. Hit subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about this channel. Go to hagoodman.com. Read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon. My writing against and the Jerusalem Post, the Roanoke Times, the Federalist, the Daily Caller, and read my writing against counterinsurgency conflicts. I'm against never-ending perpetual quagmires. I want Americans home, back home to their husbands, their wives, their sons, their daughters, their mothers, their fathers, their families, their friends. That is the moral position to take. The immoral position is to retweet people or share people like Bill Kristol, who also, along with Nancy Pelosi, Bill Kristol, by the way, pushed for every counterinsurgency conflict that we've had the past 20 plus years. And he's now the moral, righteous, conservative within the Lincoln Project type of apparatus or whatever within the Democratic Party. If Pence is refusing to invoke the 25th Amendment, as is being reported, then move to impeach and convict. Of what, Mr. Kristol? Of what? What did Trump do this time that he didn't do? But who is defending Trump? That's the thing. That's what I'm asking. That's what's part of bringing back, or at least regaining, political power. You have to have a strategy to regain what we lost. We lost because of, number one, because of Republicans who were too cowardly and feckless, and who lacked integrity, too beholden to media, and who just lacked principles. And people who want never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, like the gentleman I just talked about, who just blame Trump for everything, view Trump to be this otherworldly creature, and they've won the media war. They've won the media battle. They've won the they've won the public relations spin. And what they've done is either blame Trump for things that have nothing to do with what President Trump stated. He never compelled anyone to do anything, whether it's a horrible atrocity that took place during his presidency that happened all throughout President Obama's presidency that they blame Trump for because they say his words, provoke people. These are fantasies, tinfoil hat fantasies made up by Democrats and media, and there's no pushback from Republicans. I'm trying to tell people you have to win. We have to start winning the media narrative. If we don't, then it's done. And I'm not a Republican. I support President Trump, the first president to step foot in North Korea, signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. That's running rampant, utilizing the definition of the IHRA. Okay, Yad Vashem condemned AOC's remarks. Her revisionist history. And we can go on forever. Peace deals that President Trump presided over, record low unemployment, but you have to understand, in the minds of liberals and media, 74 million supporters of President Trump do not exist. Do you understand? We do not have a voice in American political discourse. That's why this channel is important. And that's why other channels are important also. But they want to impeach President Trump. Well, I mean, the few that support President Trump. I explained in my last segment what we have to do for Trump 2024. Or to continue at least to win back the House in 2022 and the Senate. And then hopefully President Trump runs again. But at least somebody that has that message that he has, the populist message that he has. Okay? The reason that I was drawn to Bernie Sanders, and I write about this in the Federalist, one of the primary reasons was he wanted to end counterinsurgency conflicts. He stated he did, and then he even opposed the withdrawal from Syria, where Pentagon officials apparently lied to President Trump about troop levels. Look, it is impossible at this point to have a conversation with somebody that just reads the New York Times, watches MSNBC or CNN, or reads the Washington Post or the Guardian. I mean, all of these publications, the journalists are saying that he literally escorted everyone and made them go ahead and infiltrate, okay, and do and basically told them exactly what to do the other day. That never happened. We've had over $1 billion in property damage the past in 5 to 6 months because of very peaceful but fiery protests. CNN, one journalist literally had a building set ablaze behind him, and then he's saying, well, it's mostly peaceful. These people live in their own reality, but the problem is they have almost successfully made America's political reality into their own image. These are apoplectic zealots, fanatics, and they engage in only hyperbole. And you might say, well, that's a hyperbolic statement right there. No, they are fanatics. I'm not saying it's the end of the world that Biden's going to be there for 4 years. They've been saying it's the end of the world. It's the end of democracy. I don't want Biden. I think he's done nothing to deserve. Let's put it this way: his track record has been horrendous. And he's never had a foreign policy decision. He was one of the people who helped push for the failed NATO intervention that turned Libya into a failed state. President Obama presided over a colossal, not just blunder, a catastrophe, where he led a NATO intervention in Libya. That's why I bring it up every segment, because nobody on the left knows this or cares. If they know, they don't care. They live within cyberspace. That's why I do not have a Twitter account. I do not have a Facebook account. If you see anyone impersonating me, they're breaking the law. Report them to Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Without Twitter, there is no Democratic Party. They have to have this other reality where they then foment the divisions and the distrust and the propaganda and the hyperbole and the extreme words. You even have mainstream historians stating that President Trump, that they're using words, I can't even use the word to describe one set of protesters, but not another set of protesters. So when buildings are set ablaze throughout the country, and there's $1 billion in property damage, these are just people who are peaceful, generally, and trying to fight for a righteous cause. You have Black-owned businesses and Asian-owned businesses, Latino-owned businesses, businesses in general that were torched. And, 19 people lost their lives? And you had autonomous zones? Where was the outrage? But again, I'm trying to tell you, everything is sensationalized with Trump. It's his fault. There's no nuance. They make baseless claims and allegations. They're never called on it. The media and propaganda battle, they're winning. And they're winning because there's nobody defending President Trump. And President Trump, they want to impeach now. They want to impeach President Trump. Within 20 days or so. Within 12 days? And they don't want to allow him any more pardons. So, hopefully he pardons Julian Assange. They don't want to allow him anything. They just want to strip him of his powers as president right now. Where's Pence? Where's McConnell? Where's Ben Sass and Mitt Romney? Oh, that's right. They're all against Trump. They've always been really against Trump. McConnell and Pence here and there. They pick and choose their battles. But President Trump has been maligned not only by media and Democrats, first and foremost by Jeff Sessions. I tried to tell people this 2 years ago, and it was like speaking to a wall. Or it's like in one ear, out the other, because it was really fun to, queue and message boards. And I said, that's a dangerous, dangerous thing. That is a hoax and a dangerous, complete scam and racket. And nobody would listen. Well, people listened. Most people listened. But some people said, and they unsubscribed from the channel then. I told them it's in the debate on hagoodman.com. And the same thing happened with Bernie Sanders. When I was a Bernie Sanders supporter, I said, I'm not voting for Clinton. There's no way I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. And they said, oh my God, I lost subscribers then. Then the earlier, they said, look, Trump conceded. Oh my God, he didn't concede. Okay, fine, he didn't use the word. What does it matter at this point? I know, and you know, that he doesn't think things are fair, and he's going to hopefully push for investigations. That is not my point, ladies and gentlemen. For the people who subscribe or unsubscribe, for the people who stand with me, I thank you. Very much, actually. Thank you. And tell your friends. Let's get this channel to 200,000 subscribers, because this channel, my voice, is going to be very important for the next 4 years. I've seen what happened. I saw what happened to Bernie Sanders. But see, the thing is, when he was cheated, that movement collapsed. And then was just rebranded into another form of the Democratic Party. That's why you get people petrified to actually force a vote for Medicare for all. And it's like, Jimmy Dore is 100% right. But then there are people who'd say, oh, H.A. Goodman, well, if H.A. Goodman said it, then it's wrong. It's like, okay, whatever. Jimmy Dore fights. It's a good thing. He's actually forcing Democrats to actually do what they said they would do. But it's a racket on the left. But it's a racket and a scam on the left. Like AOC, Pelosi, they're the same people. One is just younger, that has social media and says Medicare for all and Green New Deal and has a resolution and doesn't even want a floor vote. So, it's pretty apparent what's going on. It's a gigantic racket. The far left should just start a political party or join the Green Party. Green Party is there already. They should just join the Green Party. If there's a conservative political party that forms, in the next couple of months, fantastic. I would think that, or I should say, a populist, not conservative, like a populist party. I wouldn't even say Tea Party, because the Tea Party was just another. It was another form of the Republican Party in a way. Like a Trump Republican, some kind of populist. I'm not advocating that something should happen. I'm saying it would be a great thing to force Republicans in just to defend the interests of Trump supporters. Okay, like I said, Trump supporters have been maligned, and they've been not only unfairly treated, but their voices and their concerns, which are very valid and moral, to end perpetual counterinsurgency conflicts is a moral vantage point. It is immoral to say, well, I care more about climate change than sending Americans off to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, which is what we have now, which is what President Trump tried to reverse. See, again, you have a whole bunch of atheists on the left. Like, the left is run primarily by atheists, which is fine. Nothing wrong with atheists. You know, it's great, totally fine. But their religion, they've replaced religion with politics. So they are not only dogmatic and like these dogmatic ideologues, but they are consumed with moral indignation when it comes to anything about politics, while at the same time ignoring the fact that they're hypocrites because President Obama engaged in the same tactics or worse than President Trump on a whole bunch of topics. Then you have the issue of just blatant lies and pure propaganda. Trump never banned a religion, but where is the pushback? And like I said, now they want to impeach him again and want to strip him of his authority and powers as president. Who's going to defend President Trump, not only for the next 2 weeks or so, but for the next 4 years? Who's going to defend? You have Devin Nunes, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan. You have Rand Paul, Ron Johnson. But I mean, for the next 4, Ted Cruz, hopefully. Ted Cruz is good, but I mean, was that more opportunistic? You know, to join President Trump? I mean, it was good what he did, actually. Josh Hawley is the man. But I mean, the next 2 years, the next 2 years, you're going to have a battle. You're going to have an ideological battle where Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse are going to try to take over the Republican Party again. That will not give Republicans the House. Mitt Romney, if he had another rally, would have the same amount of people as the exhumed body, Biden. Nobody, watching paint dry is more amusing than listening to Ben Sasse or Mitt Romney or Biden about anything. In fact, paint watches them dry. They're so boring. But you need, ladies and gentlemen, you need to get people to defend what President Trump's accomplished, to defend Trump's supporters, to push back. You need to elevate conservative media or media that defends the viewpoints of Trump's supporters. You don't have that. You know, the left views President Trump and Trump's supporters as these mindless, horrible, bigoted people. President Trump got a greater percentage of black and African American voters and Asian American voters and Latino voters than any Republican ever. Can anyone bring that up? Can any conservative bring that up? How about any Republican in Congress? Can they bring that up? We need books written about President Trump's accomplishments because there are many accomplishments the past 4 years. We had record low unemployment for the majority of his tenure. The pandemic was not his fault. He did not ban a religion. He did not say the 1930s and 1940s Germans were good or fine people. He never said that. In fact, within that quote, the C-SPAN quote, he says, and I'm not talking about them, they should be condemned. This is a man who's done more for Israel than any other American president. And, like I said, signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism. And it's like, and the left, and like I said, Yad Vashem went after and condemned AOC. So, I mean, but you're not going to... How do you regain political influence and power? How do you regain the presidency and regain the House and Senate if you cannot win the media battle? People, they've won the media battle. And they have corrupt intelligence officials. And they have all of Hollywood. And then they have Mitt Romney, Ben Sasse, and Jeff Sessions and Paul Ryan. And so these are obstacles that have to be addressed peacefully, legally, and in terms of sound political strategy. That's why you should watch this channel. But I'm telling you, elevate the voices that have stood with President Trump. Okay, past 2 years, even though my channel's not that great, not that big, I'm relatively small, and, but I've been one of the top channels supporting President Trump. And you look at, go elevate the channels that support President Trump or defend the interests of Trump supporters. There's only about 15, 16 of them, if that, in all of YouTube. And when people, just on a side note, when people say, oh, I'm unsubbing, you said this word, it's like, dude, I mean, are you serious? Like, I have to not only contend with an algorithm, but then I have to worry about, like a word that's used when at the end of the day we have to focus on regaining political influence. And people, like, I don't even want to get into it, but to the people who stand with me, thank you very, very much. I do appreciate your support greatly. But ladies and gentlemen, we all need to take a deep breath. And we have a great deal to be proud of in terms of what President Trump has accomplished for the past 4 years. The pandemic was not his fault. And Biden would never have done anything. He wouldn't have done better. Because you look at how Democratic states have been run. They've been run into the ground. They have the highest per capita rates and the highest aggregate numbers of lives lost. And they have the most property damage from peaceful protests. But the other day was the end of the world for the media. And I condemn illegal activity, I do. Democrats should also condemn illegal activity and the words, perhaps, that they incite or that they use to propel, the months on end of, buildings set ablaze, all of this stuff. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. They want to impeach President Trump again. Here, we'll finally get to, well, I read the Bill Kristol quote, but here, this is the New York Times. Pelosi threatens to pursue impeachment if Trump's cabinet does not strip him of powers. They have such deep-seated contempt for this man that not only did they want him out when there was record low unemployment, could you imagine the level of contempt? They want, it's only 12 days that he has as president, and They don't even want him to pardon anyone. They don't want him to do anything. No executive orders, nothing. And they have no right to do this. But who's defending President Trump? Give me your thoughts below. Just answer this question. Who's defending President Trump in politics right now? Who? I would like to know. Is Pence? No. Is McConnell? No. Who? Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very much. Get this segment